All right, let's do volume cross-section rectangles. Okay, so you can see I have red function F, blue function G, and generally speaking, volume is equal to the integral of area. Now, if we're doing perpendicular to the x-axis. Okay, whereas volume, if we're perpendicular to the y-axis, it's the integral of a of y. This is dy, this is dx, and this is x1 to x2. And for a rectangle, the area is base times height. Okay, so now the base is going to be the part that's sitting in the picture. So that's what I'm doing with this little squiggly here. All right, the height, they have to tell you something about the height. It might be a fixed value, or it might be, they talk about it in terms of the base. So let's suppose I'm doing perpendicular to the x-axis. So perpendicular to the x-axis is a vertical line. I need that vertical distance. This is going to be my B, which in this case, that is the worst bracket ever. This is going to be F minus G. Okay, so it'd be the integral of base times height dx, or in other words, F of x minus G of x times B dx. Okay, now if I were doing perpendicular to the y-axis, let me just switch colors here. Let's do purple. Then perpendicular to the y-axis is horizontal, and you know horizontal distance is right minus left. So in this case, then my base B would be, if I do right minus left, then that's going to be, in this case, G of y minus F of y times H dy, y1, y2, and that should be a big parentheses, and so should this over here. Okay, so if I were saying, let's say for example, let's say one of the facts was, I'm just going to write it down here, the height is 5 times the length of the base, then for my green integral, then the volume would be, well then that would mean my height is equal to F minus G times 5. Now, if my area is base times height, then when I do the base is going to be F of x minus G of x, and I'm going to multiply that times 5 times another F of x minus G of x dx from x sub 1 to x sub 2. Then that would just be 5 on the outside, integral x sub 1 to x sub 2, F of x minus G of x squared dx. So that's what I mean by they have to give you the height. And then similarly, if I were to say the same thing, but cross-section's perpendicular to the y-axis, then whatever, it'd be G of y minus F of y squared with a 5 on the outside. That's it.